Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and I am here to guide you in the ways of Merfolk. If that's what you're looking for, you're looking to swim with the fish, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Before we get into anything, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And I have like 1 billion new patrons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, supporting Merfolk, and supporting Burn and Death and Taxes, supporting you, helping you master your deck. So we're going to thank very much to Andrew Sullender, Jordan Homer, Silviu Nadia, Mihao Borovka, Frank Smith, Daniel Coe, Michael Wissenhunt, Tommy Wren, Harold Josephowitz, Audrey, and Ang Chin Yang. Thank you very much for supporting the channel and supporting mastering your deck. That's what we're doing here. Oh, and before we get into our last thing, we'll just let you know the playmats have arrived. I don't actually have them in inventory. You have to buy them on inkgaming.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. But finally, a lot of people are asking, how do I get the Nikachu Bunny playmat? Well, now they're here. Finally, the old image was like really, it was not of high resolution, so I commissioned an artist. Her name's Tamara Abbas. She was wonderful. She helped design I drew the bunny. All right, let's just get that out of the way. I'm responsible for the bunny on this thing, but Tamara's responsible for everything else. Well, I can give myself credit for the rock at the bottom. That was all me too. Alright, so Rhino Rousseau says we gotta go back to Blue-White Merfolk. We have to go back to Azorius. This might be Azorius month because I've been commissioned by many people to play Azorius. I'm even interested in going back to Azorius because, like, well, we'll get into that eventually, but like we're going back to Azorius Merfolk. This one does not play Path to Exile, but we are playing with some really spicy cards, one of them being Ephara, God of the Polis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Indestructible creature, 6/5 for 4 mana. As long as your devotion to white and blue is less than 7, Ephara isn't a creature, and at the beginning of each upkeep, if you have another creature enter the battlefield under your control last turn, draw a card. That is going to be great against control decks. What I really like is that the devotion, I like that the devotion's very high, so it's actually very hard to turn Ephara on, because if she ever gets turned on, then our opponents can Path to Exile Ephara. I don't want them to Path to Exile Ephara. I want Ephara to keep drawing us cards, grinding out our opponent. And the greatest thing is, like, we have more flash creatures than ever before. We have, like, Merfolk Trickster and Harbinger of the Tides. I mean, not to mention that, like, we can still put creatures in play at end of turn with Ether Vial, but if we don't have that Ether Vial, then we can play things on our opponent's turn to draw 2 cards per 1 turn, if you know what I mean. So you can hard cast things on your turn, draw cards, then you can cast things on your opponent's turn and then draw another card. And you only draw, no matter how many creatures you play, you only draw 1 card. I want that to be clear. I used to play with this thing in Standard way back in the day. It was okay in the mono blue devotion deck. We are running thin on white sources in this list. We're playing with 2 Hollowed Fountain and 4 Wanderwine Hub. I don't know how big of a deal that is going to be. Ephara, we don't need to play her immediately. We can play her like way down the line, so that's not a big deal. Also, like if we need to, we can vial her in. That's not a big deal. We're playing with Minamo so that we can untap her. Hopefully that helps. And also, if we need to dig for the white sources, we've got Smuggler's Copter here. It's going to also help us a little bit against humans so that we can block things. I have a feeling blocking Mantis Rider is not going to work very well. Mantis Rider is either going to have an Exalted trigger, making it a 4/4, or get pumped up by Thal's Lieutenant, making it a 4/4. However, we can stone block Freebooter, even with an Exalted Trigger or a pump up by Thal's Lieutenant. And also, there's going to be a lot of situations where we can block that Mantis Rider anyway. But it's going to loot, it's going to help us find our white sources when we need them, or anything else in the deck that we need. So we've got some good hate here in the sideboard. Kataki War's Wage, which does not demand any white sources because we can just put this thing into play with Aether Vial. Leyline of Sanctity, ideally you just want that in your opening hand, otherwise, you really don't care. Rest in Peace is probably going to be the toughest card to cast given our mana base. We only have 6 sources of mana. And I think Rest in Peace is a card that you, in general, want to get it out early, not later. But it's not going to be a deal breaker if we get it out late. For Echoing Truth, Echoing Truth is a pretty good card right now. It's a good tempo card against creature matchups, but it helps us deal with Ensnaring Bridge and Deprive. I mean, this is just the go-to. It's the new counterspell. Get your Deprives. If you love foils, get your foil Deprives. It comes from a really old set. All one of us has to do is top 8 a GP with Merfolk, with Deprive in the sideboard, and boom, the price of this thing is going to go out of this world, people, out of this world. I don't know, those speculators, they don't trust the internet, but once something makes the top 8 of a GP, it's sold. So this is a really cool list. Really interested to see how Ephara does. I'm really interested to see how the white cards do, because we're going to be exploring more white stuff in this month. And if you want me to play your list, I'll have details in the in the description below about how you can do that. So yeah, this is Rhino Russo's list. So let's go check it out. So we won the die roll. So far, so good, and we have a pretty keepable hand. So let's just keep this. We're gonna go turn 1 Hollowed Fountain into probably Smuggler's Copter. Our hand is looking pretty good against any attrition-based deck. It's looking pretty good against Tron. It's probably weak against some straight-up combo deck like Storm. But Smuggler's Copter can fix a lot of things, and there is the Raging Ravine, so we might be up against Jund. And I don't know exactly what's the best thing to do now. Traditionally, I really liked taking Jund off of black, but the black is actually a lot less necessary now. Taking off green and red to prevent them from ever casting Bloodbraid Elf is more necessary. But do you know what? Let's get our stuff on the board. Let's get things going. Let's get them some damage in the air, and if our opponent shows us a weak source of mana, then that's what we'll attack. And they didn't play like a turn 1 Inquisition of Kozilek or anything, so maybe we have the time to wait and attack mana. Okay, so that's interesting. And we drew a Curse Catcher. So with that in mind, I am not going to activate the Smuggler's Copter into a removal spell. That seems silly. What we're going to do is we are going to Spreading Seas the Raging Ravine and follow it up with a Curse Catcher. If our opponent adds mana, which they do not. Another Lord, that is good. So Copter still dies to Lightning Bolt and Fatal Push, so I see no reason to activate it. I don't want to activate the Copter into open mana. That is a no-no, in my opinion. So even, if our opponent is going to go for a Liliana the Veil play, then they probably should deal with this Curse Catcher first. Okay, so there's the Bolt. And even if they do play Liliana the Veil, Copter is invincible. They're going to tap out. We're going to hit the Liliana. We might kill the Liliana if we can draw a land. We activate Copter and attack with the Mutavault at the same time. Interesting to note, our opponent does not have... Well, they got Kolaghan's command mana now, if they so choose. Not anymore. So they're going to play Tarmogoyf. Land? No land. Not bad, though. I don't mind the Tarmogoyf attacking because we can just spread, we can bounce it with Harbinger of the Tides. All right, let's Spreading Seas, Blood Crypt. Hopefully we draw land. We don't. Ether Vial is fine though. I will definitely take that. And I think we are still in the front seat here. The only devastating card would be Maelstrom Pulse. Pretty sure I would even be fine with a Bloodbraid Elf here. Well, there's the black mana. And there's the Maelstrom Pulse. Alright, so the worst fears happened. Tarmogoyf going to get in for 5 damage, and I think we are not really in a position to be waiting anymore. We're just going to go aggro. But that was a great draw, so we can... I could try to draw a random card with Silvergill Adept. But you know what? I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think the correct thing to do is just slow our opponent down by any means possible. So we're going to Harbinger the Tarmogoyf back to their hand. Activate Smuggler's Copter. Attack for 3. They're going to try to bolt. We're going to Curse Catcher. Good question is, if I played Curse Catcher first, would that have been better? So I could crew and then leave my Harbinger of the Tides up? I don't think so. I think it was pretty good that we trick them, so we get that bolt out of their hand. I guess I will dump the Smuggler's Copter. Or maybe Smuggler's Copter wasn't that bad. Maybe I could have dumped a Lord. Yeah. Flying 3/3 is not bad. Protection from Liliana the Veil, Liliana the Last Hope. Okay, Tower goes back. Holy cow. 6/7? Oh yeah, because I put the Smuggler's Copter in the graveyard. Another 6/7. Well, the pressure's on. I need... There's another Hollow Fountain. Okay, so let's start with Silvergill Adepts. What do we draw off this thing? Master of the Pearl Trident. In that case, we're just going to activate this, crewing with maybe Harbinger of the Tides, because I'm not attacking with Harbinger. Or maybe I'm not attacking. I want to see what I draw. Okay. We're attacking with something. Let's get in there for 3. Kiri's not really ideal right now. I'm going to dump Kira. And the plan is just empty our hand. I'll go down to 13. I'm going to play a Lord of Atlantis. I plan to chump block with a Silvergill Adapt, or even a Lord of Atlantis. and hope to put ourselves in a position where we can swing back and kill them. Play Lord of Atlantis right now. There we go. Pass. I have a feeling I need to chump block something. But they can't attack with too many things, or else we're just going to swing for the win ourselves. They also have an issue of activating things like Raging Ravine and Treetop Village and holding up mana at the same time, like having enough mana to play removal at the same time. Also, important thing is that they've used 2 Lightning Bolts, and they don't actually play with that many Fatal Pushes in the main deck. We're talking like 1. The Jund decks have been siding strongly towards Lightning Bolt, because it's more versatile. It can go at your face! Just like your ugly face. You dinosaur. It's a dinosaur! Is this Bloodbraid Elf? It's Bloodbraid Elf, alright. No Maelstrom Pulse. It's another Lightning Bolt. Could go at me. It would be very interesting if it goes at me, because it puts me to 10, and then if they attack for like a billion, it would just be very interesting. So I have to chump block something. Which will be fine because I have lethal. If they do an all-out attack. And 3 Lightning Bolts have been used, so I'm not going to play around Lightning Bolt. But they haven't played a land yet. Is there anything else that deals damage to me? I want to play to win. So if I chump block, and they have Bolt, I probably lose. Is there something that could make the graveyard bigger? Is there a creature in there? There's a creature. There's everything in that graveyard. Like, I really don't want to play around Bolt because there's only 1 left in the deck. So what else could happen here? I think I could go down to 1. So I don't want to play around Bolt. So what I can play around is them hitting me, then playing a land, and then playing like another Tarmogoyf, putting up 2 blockers, preventing me from getting in lethal damage. Because I need to attack with 4 creatures on the ground and 1 in the air in order to deal lethal. So we're just we're gonna soak this up. I guess I could also lose to Collective Brutality, but there's more combinations of Tarmogoyf and Scavenging Ooze and Dark Confidant. I also don't remember if they play with Collective Brutality in the main deck. And if they have Fatal Push, I think I win as well. I don't think they can win if they have Fatal Push. Fatal Push isn't enough. Oh, so many creatures. So many creatures! And you know what's in my hand, too. You can resign now. Yeah. Alright. Pikachu MTG playmats are finally here, featuring the iconic Bunny of Waves. We've also teamed up with Dragon's Lair to bring you Master Your Waves and Bunny Guide. Pick up yours today at inkgaming.com by following the link in the description. Going on to game 2. So card view. Ephara is going to be great in this matchup if we can get her. Rest in Peace should also be very good. Ether Vial not very good. But I think we have to keep some in to activate Ephara. And also, we might be able to go ham if we have, say, an Ether Vial and Ephara in play, because then we start vialing things in at the end of their turn. Leyline, I don't think is that good against us. Specifically us, I don't think so. This might be just all that I do. Keep 2 Ether Vial in. I could shave 1 island, but we have 5 of these 4-drops. Could shave an island for maybe an Echoing Truth. Just to keep our land count down, like 19 lands is fine. Or maybe I should side out 1 Vial, 1 island. And we still have about 22 mana sources. Like a lot of... Ether Vial is not necessarily a bad card against Jund. It's just a mana source like anything else. Except you can't just literally shave 4 lands and keep your Ether Vials in, because then the Ether Vial becomes unstable. But in order to support some of these cards, I think I need like this Ether Vial in the deck. But maybe not that bad. Okay, do you know what? I'm just gonna leave that too. I sort of want Echoing Truth, but it's not that good. Deprive is fine, by the way. I think Deprive is fine. Leyline of Sanctity is... Against, like, some decks would want Leyline here to protect them against discard spells, but I don't think we're that afraid. Okay, we'll just submit the deck. Smuggler's Copter showed a lot of value there. A lot of power. Smuggler's Copter is a good card. Still good, even in 2018. Also good to note that we had 2 Hollowed Fountains and it did not kill us. Ugh. I'm gonna keep this hand because mulliganing against Jund is like death. And so we're just hoping to draw at least 1 blue source in the next few turns. It's not that bad of a hand. And I'm now happy about my decision. I hope they play Inquisition. I hope they see the Ephara, and I hope they start sweating bullets. That's right. Ephara! Ephara. For the record, I do not think I would keep this hand on the play, but I can keep it on the draw. Just getting that second island is just so hard. Ooh, Wander One Hub. Love it. Loving it. Okay, let's disguise it. Got myself a Slurpee today. It's super hot in Canada right now. You would not think that hot in Canada is synonymous. What are we? Did they side into Mardu Pyromancer? What's going on here? Uh-oh. The gloves are off. Well, that's good against Grim Lavamancer. So I think at their upkeep, we're just going to tap the Lavamancer so that it can't be that big of a pain. I think that's what we're going to do. Because the other option is just do nothing, get Ephara out, and then to start playing creatures. I think that's what we're going to do. And if our opponent taps out, then maybe we'll play Merfolk Trickster. So I'm just not going to play anything unless our opponent says, you know what, I'm going to put pressure on you. Here it comes. Like, let's say our opponent plays Liliana the Veil right here. Okay, then they tap out. They can't activate Grim Lavamancer. And we have an opportunity to attack the Liliana the Veil. And probably get 2 creatures on the board. Sorry, 3 creatures on the board. We can play Immutable and a Lord of Atlantis next turn. All right, look at this. They can't even do anything. So like, we're gonna pass the turn. Ooh, I think I'm gonna hold on to that Spreading Seas because they have no green mana. Or do I? Maybe no. I do. Maybe we just don't get greedy like that. They can't do anything, but at the same time, we need to hit our mana so that we can get Ephara in play. Because once Ephara's in play, who cares about this Grim Lavamancer? And who knows, maybe we'll draw another spreading season. The Grim Lavamancer gets completely, like, nuked. Go on, let's see Ephara! Let's see if the Ephara god of the Polis? I don't know, you let me know in the comments section below how this thing is supposed to be pronounced. Andrew Day 2 Dryden might know. This looks very Greek. Greek and Romanish. Now they're spreading seas. I sees where this is going. Aw, darn. But nothing to do. They even had an opportunity to attack. So our opponent has boarded into a Mardu Pyromancer deck. Looks exactly like one. That's interesting. It will be a problem. I think now it will be a problem because if our opponent plays any green source, I'm sure their hand is full of like Bloodbraid Elves or something. Now another interesting thing about Inquisition of Kozilek here is that Grim Lava... Well, sorry. Okay, so Grim Lavamancer is turned off. Can't do anything. Oh, they took my Harbinger. Got a million Tricksters. Another Ephara. Do I attack? I guess not. Just gonna... I'm gonna start doing things. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start playing like Merfolk Tricksters at end of turn. Because I'm probably... well, I mean, I guess if I have to discard to hand size, that's not that big of a deal either. But let's empty our opponent's graveyard. Wow. That's terrible. That is interesting. Now our opponent does not have the Lightning Bolt to bolt and Grim Lavamancer at the same time. This is not really how I wrote it up. This is not how I thought we would be winning or taking the advantage in this situation. This is also definitely a game where my Jund opponents are going to whine to me at some point. Oh, it's been 7 lands and I haven't been able to draw a green source. So our opponent didn't play like Liliana of the Veil last time, so I don't see why they would play it this time. Okay, Collective Brutality. So are they able to cast spells? What is... I swear they boarded into Mardu Pyromancer. I swear. Because that's exactly what it looks like. Alright, there we go. Ephara's on the board. And you know what? She's not very far from turning into a creature. Which I don't think... Well, unless our opponent has Dismember in their deck, this thing is indestructible. Another Inquisition. That's good news. So we sort of want a blue source so we can cast things, draw cards, and then cast things on our turn, draw cards, cast things on our opponent's turn and draw cards, and get that chain rolling. They keep taking our Lord of Atlantis, but like these things are going to help us draw 2 cards per like a shared turn. And they you know what? Boom, we play Ephara and they're like, we cannot deal with this thing. That it's so over. They're gonna like, it's way more powerful than this Grim Lavamancer. Suck it, Jund. That's what happens when you deal with Ephara. Ephara, just her mere presence of resolving against an attrition-based deck like Jund was too much for them to continue. And you know what? Between Ephara and Tarmogoyf, I think Ephara wins that battle. So that was round 1. Let's get on to round 2. So we won the die roll again. We have a normal Merfolk hand. So we're going to make a normal Merfolk keep. Not aggressive by any means, but hey, it's fine. I just hate having these like 4 mana hands, especially on the play. Our opponent mulliganed. They're going to keep their hand. And they put a card on the bottom. Island Ether Vial. Guess what this deck is? Maybe it's Cryptic Eternal Command, if anyone's familiar with that deck. A gem designed by Sota Yaseoka. Ooh, it's Tron. We don't have a very good hand for Tron. Well, I mean, we have the play. That might be all that we need. But in general, Tron's a good matchup. Bring on Tron. Well, our hand is taking a turn for the better. If our opponent doesn't play a Tron land next turn, I think it's basically over. It's just basically over. You know what? It's possible that Silvergill Adept is a misplay, because if my opponent plays Walking Ballista here, they can chew it up for 1. Is that what's going to happen here? Because I could have played Harbinger of the Tides. Oh yeah, look at that. It had to go down like that, did it? It just had to be like that. You know, you gotta be careful. That's the thing with Merfolk. This is a prime example of these little niche things you should play. Because the thing is, if I played Harbinger of the Tides, next turn I could play Lord of Atlantis. I could hardcast Lord of Atlantis. Okay, so Urza's Mine was the second one. We'll hit the Urza's Mine. Wonderwine Hub, reveal Curse Catcher, play Curse Catcher, and now we'll pass. And see, let's say they play another Walking Ballista for 1. I can play Lord of Atlantis. Oh! 2 towers. That's a nombo. Oh yeah, you can have a star. You can have a sphere. And I missed out on 2 damage. They can't do anything. That's bad news bears for our opponent. That's for sure. I think in this situation we're going to tick our vial up to 4, which means I should turn off all auto yields. Because if we get a Master Waves in play, they're just dead. They're just straight dead. So at our upkeep, we're going to activate. We're going to do the trick where we activate Vial with the trigger on the stack. We're going to put Lord of Atlantis in play. Then we're going to put this thing to 3 because I think, like in 2 more turns, this game is just super over. Might be over anyway. Reveal Harbinger of the Tides. Like, our opponent doesn't have Sylvan Scrying, they don't have Ancient Stirrings. I have no idea what's in their hand. They didn't play Oblivion Stone. I mean, I guess they could still play Oblivion Stone next turn. That's good. I think we want to play that because this 6, 10, 12. It's close to lethal. And then even if our opponent plays Oblivion Stone, we put them down to 3, and we can still hard cast things like Merfolk Trickster. Okay, there's the Oblivion Stone. One Lord kills you. Fortunately, we don't have any elementals in play. There's a land. A land... whatever. Okay, so we just smack them for a ton. Well, I guess if they have a land, they're buying themselves a few turns. Because I can't win. Like, let's say they play land pass. Then I can't do anything. Oh, they don't even have a land. Wow, their hand really sucked. We got sort of lucky there. Things worked out for us there. And you know what? Things are going to work out even better for us post-board. So, I'm sorry, Ephara, but get out of here. Actually, Kira's not good here either. So we're going to get rid of Master of Waves and Ephara, because those are just the clunkiest cards in the deck. Smuggler's Copter is great. It's a colors card that won't die to Ugin. We are going to want all the Deprives that we can get, and then we'll fill the rest of the spots with Echoing Truth, which can bounce things like Oblivion Stone, which can occasionally rearrange the Spreading Seizes, and occasionally just bounce our own creatures to our hand. Also occasionally just bounce their creatures. You know, you got Worldbreaker or Wormcoil Engine or Thragtusk, just bounce it and attack in for the win. We're at 20 land, that's too many. We can take out one. Bring in another Echoing Truth, I guess. I feel like we're going a little overboard with the Echoing Truths. Maybe we can just bring in one Master of Waves. Well, Ephara... Ephara's indestructible, but she can still get exiled by Ugin, so we're going to leave you there. I think that's it. Creatures 24 looks good. One Master of Waves. Oh, do you know what? No, I take it back. We should have 20 lands in the deck. I mean, 19 it will be fine, but I go down to like 19 blue, or like, I go down a land when I'm bringing in Tectonic Edge. Whatever, we're just going to make do with this, and this hand's great. It's on the bottom, we need more lands. Need lands to cast the Smuggler's Copter. We'll see how well we do here. We have... I mean, we have a hand, but we don't have the greatest interaction. Echoing Truth is not going to get it done. And we're going to be vulnerable to Tron next turn, because we don't have any counter magic. We don't have Spreading Seed. We don't have anything. We got nothing. Well, if that's the only way to get the Tron land in play, then maybe we got one more turn. Another Smuggler's Copter. Echoing Truth could have bounced that. Bounced it. Can you do anything with this mine? Okay, Chromatic Sphere. Now it's not necessarily over. I mean, they might not have anything in hand to do anything with Tron. I have a feeling Spreading Seas is really strong. Otherwise, I don't see why they would play the Expedition map this turn. I mean, I guess they filter a little bit, but they're leaving themselves vulnerable to Spreading Seas. We missed a land drop, so maybe they're willing to take the risk. There is... No, I have to draw cards. I need to get stuff on the board, or I'm just not going to do anything this game. Okay. Let's get this Copter on the board. It's immune to Ugin. Sorry, yeah, Ugin. I get Ugin and Ulamog mixed up all the time. Two big bombs with Ooze. Oblivion Stone, and Mana to crack it, so everything is about to get wiped. All it takes is one Spreading Seas to turn this all around. But we do not get that spreading seas. We do have a copter, though. Copter's a bit vulnerable here to, what's it called? The World Breaker. World Breaker just blows up lands and artifacts and enchantments. It's amazing. It's a pretty good card. Great card for this mono green Tron deck. And it just keeps coming back. So I'm inclined to believe that my opponent's hand has a bunch of gas. Somehow I feel like they don't have that many lands. Well, there's Karn. So they could try to exile a land, hoping that I can't cast anything, but like I can cast a Curse Catcher. Alternatively, they could tick it up. That's also like not a bad move. Okay, so they go for the Smuggler's Copter. In that case, I can try to play Harbinger of the Tides and Curse Catcher next turn. Another Oblivion Stone. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ma 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 ba ma 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 ba. We're getting Troned, people. We're getting Troned. Where's our Ephara now? Oh, Ephara, you have forsaken me. Well, now it's pretty bad. Now we're in a bad spot, because even if we draw Spreading Seas, it doesn't even matter very much. Oh yeah, you've got an Ugin. You got it all here. You know what? I've seen enough of this. Let's go to game 3. And you know what? I'm going to bring that land back in. I could take out a 2 Echoing Truth is good. 24 creatures, I like that. I like that. Let's do that. There's a hand with no interaction. But it's got a Smuggler's Copter and it has a few draw steps. I guess we'll keep it. It's not that great, though. It will be fine if our opponent doesn't have, like, turn 3 Tron. Comfortably. Okay, they mulligan. That helps a lot. That makes this hand really good. Now they have like a random 6-card hand, because I mean, Tron mulligans very well, but at the same time they don't want to. I think mulligans punish them more against Merfolk than against other decks, because we have counterspells and we have cards that actually fight against their resources, like Spreading Seas. So they do want every single card that they can get, and like even just random lands helps them curve out into Oblivion Stone in time. Or even Wormcoil Engine. I'm going to play Wanderer Hub. I'm going to show them a Silvergill Adept. I'm going to give them the impression that maybe we could have Spell Pierce in our hand. It might make them play a secondary best move than a best move. Okay, Chromatics. I would Spell Pierce that if I could. Especially after a mulligan. Ooh. Copter. Come on, no turn 3 Tron. Don't do it. Well, mine and power plant. Ugly, unmatched. Okay, Silvergill adapt. Show another Silvergill adapt, and we'll attack for 3. Let's see, maybe we can race. You know, these we have a lot of colorless sources. I mean, if they dropped Ugin here, I mean, they can't drop, well, yeah, they can't drop Ugin here, but even if they did, oh, we're up against a fan. I'm a fan too. Ugh, that's not good. That requires us to have Echoing Truth. Or Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas could help here. Who are you going to call? Spreading Seas. So I can attempt to attack for 9, which is not bad. You know, I think I'm going to go for the 9 damage. I guess I should have revealed this first. Okay, you can know I have a Silvergill adapt. I don't think it was worth trying to go for the Spreading Seas. Like, we've got a lot of pressure here, so I think it was best to just keep up with the pressure. But anyway, so we can Spreading Seas them next turn, plus play a Smuggler's Copter, and we're going to be in good shape, in my opinion. Okay, everything gets blown up now. They draw a card, they have 5 mana up. What are you going to do with 5 mana? Hopefully nothing. Hopefully not another Oblivion Stone. Okay. You are not listening to me. But not another land drop. So I can try to Spreading Seas the mine. Play Smuggler's Copter. Hope they don't draw enough. I have the potential to attack with this Mutavault every turn. Like, it's a 4-turn clock. So maybe we do that. We attack. Okay, let's attack with this Mutavault. Do we want to attack with Mutavault? I could play Smuggler's Copter and Silvergill Adept, which still forces the Oblivion Stone to get popped. And I still have to play a Silvergill Adept anyway. And it would be ideal if I can keep hitting my land drops. But then it defeats the purpose of attacking with the Mutavault every turn. Okay, no, I'm going to attack with the Mutavault. I'll follow it up with a Smuggler's Copter. I really want to get into a situation where we blow up this Mutavault. Sorry, blow up the Oblivion Stone. And then play a Spreading Seas right after that. I guess another option was to play Master of the Pearl Trident. So many options. I don't know which one's the right one. At least with Smuggler's Copter, after I play Silvergill Adept to activate Smuggler's Copter, our opponent will be incentivized to blow up the Oblivion Stone so that we don't draw a card. Because the smart thing to do is like wait until the end of turn to use the Oblivion Stone. Ooh, Sanctum of Ugin. Okay, that's interesting. Exile each permanent. Convert mana cost X or less. That includes Spreading Seas. So this thing can get Eugene. Wait a minute. Don't I just win? Because I'm going to play Lord of Atlantis and attack for 6. Ugin can't, and you already played your land drop for the turn, so you can't play any more land. You can't activate Oblivion Stone. You can't do anything. We might have been in a winning situation anyway. Or I don't know. Okay, we're going to see what happens. Maybe our opponent has... Well, even if our opponent has Dismember, that doesn't deal with anything either. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it, people. And I don't think they know we have a Lord in hand. I do believe we are taking this game down. That's 6 damage. Three in the air, 3 on the ground. And they've conceded. All right, we win the match. So, we didn't get to see the cool white cards in action, but, you know, Merfolk did its normal thing. Smuggler's Copter definitely showed some value. Digging for what we needed and dodging Ugin. Eugene! Your colorlessness has betrayed you. All right, let's get on to round 3. So we lost the die roll. Our hand's pretty underwhelming, but it's not something I'm willing to throw back. We can curve right out into Master of Waves. Silvergill Adept will draw us one more card. But it's like not a great hand. We have nothing to do on turn 1. We're on the draw. We're going to keep. But we're up against a fellow island deck. Oh, we're up against Merfolk. And we just drew, like, the nuts. Okay, so we're going to play Minamo. And we have a lot of non-island cards in our hand, so we are, I think, quite advantaged here. We also have Master of the Pearl Trident, which is going to help a lot. The only problem is that we're on the draw. So our opponent has the upper hand of getting something on the board first. Question is, how do we get this Master Waves in play? Are we going to tick the Ether Vial up from 2 to 3 to 4? Only time will tell. Master of Waves is also dubious in this matchup. Oh no! Spreading Seas. Well, the good part about that is that now we have some opportunity to steal the initiative. So they didn't put... I mean, they do have a creature in play in the form of Mutavault, but they didn't actually put anything in play. Show Curse Catcher. And there is no reason to not put a Curse Catcher in play, now that they know of it. And you know what? Now they made our decision with Ether Vial a lot easier. We're just going to ramp into that Master of Waves. That's what we're going to do. That's a Silvergill Adept. I don't know if that was wise to... Oh, okay. I see what they were trying to do. Okay, that's fine. So they have the opportunity to go ham next turn. We need a little bit more beef to get our own stuff through. One more Lord? You want a Lord of... I'd take a Lord of Atlantis here, because we could attack for 6. Put them down to... attack them for 6, put them down to something low. Wonder on Hub, revealing Mass of the Pearl Trident. Cast it. Keep Ether Vial up. Constantly threaten things like Harbinger of the Tides and Merfolk Trickster. Thing is, we are not threatening lethal next turn. I mean, in theory we are, but in reality we are not. Our opponent, on the other hand, could be threatening lethal in a multitude of ways. Wow, going up on that Ether Vial. But if they don't have a second blue source, their hand might be like super awkward. But maybe they'll put in the second Mara Reacher and start casting Curse Catcher to create double mana. Because if you cast Curse Catcher, you can put both Mara Reacher triggers on the stack targeting the island, and as each one resolves, it untaps and you can float a blue, and then the second Reacher trigger resolves, untapping the island, and you can get a second blue. Or basically casting anything, even Silvergill Adept will work. Oh, here comes some damage. If they don't have an Island Walker, maybe we're just going to win. Because they don't have double blue for Merfolk Trickster. They don't have their Vial on 2 for Merfolk Trickster, so this Master of Waves looks like it's going to be invincible. They have one blue up, so we can sack Curse Catcher against a Dismember. Oh, we drew our own Spreading Seas. Given their board state, I'm not going to cast it. I think they're restricted on blue mana. I think they really need the blue mana, so we're not going to play it. I might play it next turn, so we could potentially draw another Lord in order to win. So I'm going to attack for 5. Play Master of Waves, get a million waves, pass. So we're hoping our opponent bricks on. I mean, we're still far away from winning. Like, we don't have lethal on the board. We have 8 damage. We still. Uh-oh, they got the second land for that. Yeah, I can concede. All right, moving on. What was our next card? Draw card. Oh, it's not letting us see. Oh, it was a Merfolk Trickster. That would have been good. That would have been good. Actually, whatever. I should have seen how our opponent played. They should tap our Ether Vial with the trick, because they can tap our they can force tapping our Ether Vial in response. Because me conceding says that I don't have Merfolk Trickster. But what they can do is they cast their Master of the Pearl Trident, target the Ether Vial, force us to do something with it. Because if I put Merfolk Trickster in play before attacks, then, I mean, before the Master of the Pearl Trident is in play, then it doesn't do anything. What do we not want in this deck? Spreading Seas, not very good. Actually, it was like a mono blue version. We'll just take them all out. We'll bring in just Echoing Truth. Maybe we'll keep some Seas, just in case for that stupid Mutavault. There's nothing else I want to take out? The rest of the deck is fine. Ephara is a bit clunky, but whatever. Actually, Ephara is super clunky. Keep this. This hand is good. I approve of this hand. Or I should say this hand is fine. Doesn't have a way of pushing through a lot of damage. But I mean, we're on the play, we have Ether Vial, we have things to put in play, not going to complain. We have ways of slowing down the game with Merfolk Trickster. Oh, that's like a dream. Island Pass. We draw another land. Just like we wrote it up. I'll show Master of Waves. Another Ether Vial, which is also good, because that now means we can tick up the other Ether Vial from 3 to 4, confidently. Oh, turn 2 Ether Vial, that's not where you want to be. That's not where you want to be. Show Master of Waves again, play Vial, I guess. Attack with 2, I guess. Yeah. I could put a Lord of Atlantis in play, but it feels a bit dangerous. Stony Brook Banneret. Merfolk spells and wizard spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Why didn't you play that one? Alright, let's just push max. Should we push max damage? I can attack for 8. Put our opponent down to 10. But I don't actually have anything to put in play next turn. So I'm going to pass on that Lord of Atlantis. I am going to tick the Ether Vial up to 3, though. So we did draw some good stuff. Ephara, you don't have Island Walk. Whatever. Okay, we're going to play a Master of Waves. Our opponent's going to have an explosive turn next turn, though. So if we did play the Lord of Atlantis, we would have been in good shape to win. Because this Master of Waves would have made 1,000,000 tokens, plus the Master of Waves will also deal quite a decent chunk of damage by itself. Okay, so we're going to see Stony Brook Banneret get played. Probably. Not through the Ether Vial? Oh, these Merfolk mirrors are going to get super tricksy. Okay, so Trickster can like hit the Master of Waves, killing all the tokens. See, that's the problem with Stony Brook Banneret. Like, it doesn't reduce the cost of things like Merfolk Trickster, Lord of Atlantis, Master of the Pearl Trident, just like Silvergill Adept, and Master of Waves, I guess. I don't think it's worth it. But that's just my opinion. So now we don't have any good way of getting through damage. Or do we? I guess I can cast this Lord of Atlantis. Very unlikely that our opponent is going to kill us. So I will play the Ephara, which is going to be a huge surprise. And I plan on using this Echoing Truth to bounce like either my own Lord of Atlantis, maybe their Master of the Pearl Trident or something. Or I could try to attack with everything and then bounce something else. No, I think I just want to push through damage. And draw a card at the same time. Mind you, I can attack with this Ephara and untap it with Manamo. Oh, the synergy. Oh, the synergy. And Ephara, you are such a creature right now. You're such a good creature, aren't you? Give me my card. Oh, Smuggler's Copter, sweet. Can't vial that in play at end of turn. Actually, I didn't consider that. Maybe I should have just hard cast the Lord of Atlantis instead of activating the Ether Vial. I'm like a little concerned about Curse Catcher, but I shouldn't be that concerned. Or maybe I should be concerned. I mean, they're going to activate their vial on one, so they would have to have an insane turn right now, which I can't. I don't think they can have because they have Stony Brook Banneret in their hand. It's not that big of a deal. And why are... So what's the plan here? What's the plan here, boss? $14 damage. Or 10 damage. I'll take it. So here's the situation. If our opponent plays Merfolk Trickster on our Lord of Atlantis, what we can do is Echoing Truth it back to our hand, then recast it with Ether Vial. Or put it into play with Ether Vial. So I don't see that as a route to victory for them. Harbinger of the Tides can only bounce like one creature. We can attack with 3 creatures. And then there's that thing. Sure, let's just cast it. By casting this, it might make our opponent resign, and if, like, I don't want to show them we have Echoing Truth if it's unnecessary. They know that we're playing with this card. They don't know that we're playing with this card. They haven't seen it yet. Let's attack with you two. Ephara, do something. Ephara, getting in the red zone. I've done the math. It's a lot of damage, in my opinion. I'm going to take this time to remind people, get your Nikachu playmats. Waves on both sides of the board. Oh yeah, that beautiful Nikachu bunny. He's cute. The iconic bunny of waves. Alright, we won. Just as I suspected. Change nothing. Maybe I can... Just thinking about trolling my opponent with Kataki. Oh, this hand... Okay, now this hand. This is a great hand. We have Ether Vial in the draw. We've got a 1-drop. We've got 2 drops. We've got the Master of the Pearl Trident. All they have is Curse Catcher. Pathetic. Ooh, and we have Echoing Truth. So we have interaction up the wazoo here. We could still get rolled by a bunch of lords, but this is still like a pretty ideal hand. They had to have just drawn that Cavern of Souls, otherwise they would have played it. Sig River Cutthroat. What is going on here? You can't cast this for cheaper with Stony Brook Banneret either. So we're going to instantly catch up. They have Curse Catcher and Silvergill Adept. We're about to put the exact same amount of stuff in play, except we have an Ether Vial. I'm going to show them the Silvergill Adept. What's it going to be? Sig? Oh, okay. Master of the Pearl Trident. Which is what we're about to have, too. Actually, this whole board's going to make my Echoing Truth feel very awkward. Okay, we're going to take 5. So, I can play Echoing Truth on the Master of the Pearl Trident, play our own Master of the Pearl Trident, get in for damage, then they have to recast their Master of the Pearl Trident. I wouldn't mind putting another land in play either. We do need to interact with them. Or I can play Silvergill, or I can attack with just both these things for 3. Play Silvergill Adept, draw a card, and maybe put ourselves in a situation where we can like Echoing Truth their Master of the Pearl Trident and try to make a block, while we still try to push through damage. So I sort of want to draw cards so I can curve out into Cure and Master of Waves. But if they just play another Lord, maybe that's going to be a bit sticky. Or not. Okay, I'm going to attack for 2. It's really bad to be on, or can I attack for 3? It's just bad to be on defense. I could attack for 5, bounce the Master of the Pearl Trident. Maybe they just replay it next turn and attack for 5. But they're winning on the board, because then they're attacking for 9. Maybe I just have to be on defense. Who knows? Maybe we'll draw like Merfolk Trickster here. Well, there's the Mutavault. Okay, that helps a lot. Helps a lot. And go. Playing Merfolk Control now. Well, they're curving out comfortably. That's interesting. I regret not dealing any damage last turn. Well, let's start by bouncing this guy. Is this lethal? It is lethal. So we take 8 and still in trouble next turn. Any way I can deal lethal? I guess it's not. I'm missing quite a bit. I need a Merfolk Trickster or a Harbinger of the Tides or something of that nature this turn. Or I think I'm just dead. Honestly. I think I'm just dead. The play was too good. Our Ether Vial hand was good, but their rollout was just fine. No, I think I have to just lose. If only we drew. I don't know. Okay, so we can attack for 4, 8, 11, 15. A little too far. A little too far. A little too far from victory. So what gives us the best chance of winning from here? Something that holds up a lot of mana, I guess. I'm gonna attack for 6. I'm gonna pretend like I can block stuff, and I'm just gonna hope that they don't go for the kill. That's all I'm gonna hope for. And it looks like hoping for that did not work. Yeah, we lose. Alright, concede. That's too bad. Too many island walkers. Maybe I should have just attacked for 5. Maybe that was just the right thing to do. And to help. Well, we were dead. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't have to put the Silver Gill Adept in play. I could have attacked with Master of the Pearl Trident. No, but then we were going to be dead anyway. Yeah, we were in a tough spot. We didn't have a third land. We needed a little bit more power. I mean, they had a good hand. What can I say? They didn't have Ether Vial, but their hand was great. So, you know, congratulations to our opponent. So here we are for round 4. And we're on the draw. We're going to keep this. It's kind of far in hand, but, you know, one day we can get that in play with Ether Vial. If we can draw 1 blue source, then maybe we can get our Spreading Seasons online. That's interesting. Steam Vents well, I mean, this could be Storm, or, I mean, it's some deck that's going to play Opt at end of turn. They're not really saving this for Lightning Bolt. But what else can that say about their hand? They might be light on land, because otherwise they would have played an island and tried to save themselves some life, so their hand could be really stacked with gas. You gotta try to interpret these little things that your opponents are doing on the earlier turns of the game. So they put a card on the bottom. Because the thing is, if they had... Because they didn't have that island in the start of their hand. Let's get that out of the way. That wasn't in their hand before. Another Ether Vial. I'm definitely going to play this. Will you let it resolve, though? Well, it's not that bad. We don't have to discard yet. So we still don't know what we're up against. Could be Storm. Could be Blue Moon. Storm plays Remand. Okay, Sulphur Falls is not something I don't think Storm plays. Because it's really hard to... Because they don't play a whole lot of lands. Ooh, Wonderwind Hub. I really want to get this Ephara in play, so we're going to attempt to get this Ether Vial in play. And if they remand it, I can just recast it. Okay, so Wonderwind Hub revealing Silver Gill Adept, I guess. Pass. I mean, I guess I didn't have to show them anything. One interesting thing, like a Blood Moon, Blood Moon isn't going to be comfortable. Not comfortable at all. So given we have Ephara in play, or sorry, given we have Ephara in hand, I'm not going to put anything in play. We're going to maximize our chances of drawing. We're gonna maximize this Ephara. That's what I'm trying to say. I think the only thing we're concerned about is maybe a cryptic command. Bouncing the Ether Vial. Oh, that's not pleasant either. Because this Ether Vial has nothing to do on 4. It's definitely going to get taken. Not really looking at our... I don't really like our situation anymore because this Vendilion Clique is like a 6-turn clock. We can assume that our opponent has like Electrolyze or a Lightning Bolt in their hand, some sort of reach that can kill us. And we don't exactly have a clock on them. And like I said, given the indication of the Steam Vents very early on in the game, I think their hand has a lot of spells. They have a lot of spells. What the hell happened here? So they just didn't choose anything. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's over. It's over. Okay, concede. Okay, so it's through the breach. That's fine. We'll start by bringing in Deprive. We'll start by... Well, do we need to bring... No, I don't think we need to bring in Echoing Truth. We can bring in Rest in Peace. Leyline, do you do anything? I don't think so. So the cards that we're going to take out... Well, one of them is going to be Spreading Seas. Another one... It might be Ephara. Or it might be Harbinger. No, Ephara is just clunky. Sort of don't want to take out Ephara, though. Defeats the purpose of the deck. I could take out Harbinger. It's not that important. We're going to take out Curse Catcher. Curse Catcher's not important either. But we have nothing else to do on turn 1, so we'll just keep it like that. Alright, we're going to keep Ephara. I mean, Ephara's fine. Keep. The chances of us drawing an island, not very good. And even if we do, I don't care. I'm just going to attack with this Mutavault. Assuming our opponent has tap mana. They have open mana? Maybe not. Like that. Ooh, Grim Lavamancer. That's going to be a pain. We do have Cure in the deck. Oh, we have Deprive. Whoops. No! No! That looks bad. That looks bad. Whatever. Invisible Attack! And I guess we're just going to pass back and forth for a little while. We have Rest in Peace in this deck. We don't have white mana at the moment, but we have Rest in Peace. Sure. Okay, I'm gonna activate this, play Lord of Atlantis. Just trying to get some sort of board here. And I'm hoping they're gonna kill it with the Grim Lavamancer, and then we can, with the trigger on the stack, play Harbinger of the Tides, bounce this thing, take it up to 3 so we can start getting Master of Waves online. More deprives, not bad. Okay, just attack for nothing. Not gonna put Lord of Atlantis in play. Leaves us open to... do I want that to resolve? Not really. Yeah, let's use our mana. We could get hit with Simian Spirit Guide and through the breach, but I don't care. We need to put some pressure on the board, and I have none. Lavamancer has returned, so I don't have to be too worried about Anger of the Gods. And he took a shock off the steam vents. There's the Rest in Peace. That's great. That is beautiful. Exactly what I wanted to see. We don't have white mana. Okay, we need to now hit one of our 6 pieces of white mana in this deck. It's possible that this was just not a matchup to bring Rest in Peace in because they are playing with Blood Moon. Alright, pass. So here is where I can play the Master of Waves. With this on the stack, and Grim Lavamancer with nothing to eat, we get our pressure! And hopefully Master Waves can deal with this in short order. They play Snapcaster Mage, we have Deprive. Alright, what are you going to do with Serum Visions? Oh, I'm going to be licking my chops if we can draw that Wanderwine Hub or Hollowed Fountain. I wouldn't mind drawing Ephara either. Bring on Ephara. Oh, this card is annoying. It's a digging machine. Do you know what? I don't want them to draw cards. I'm going to keep the pressure on the board. There, we have a second Mutavault. Let's attack for a lot. Master Wave says Pro Red, your blocking is useless. Well, that is not useless. You're still going to take 8. One, two, three, four, five, 6. I can sort of survive through the breach. The cool thing is that when the Emrakul hits the graveyard, there's no synergy there. Grim Lavamancer and Emrakul? Where's the synergy? No synergy. Our opponent's running out of cards. Look at that. Chandra eats an elemental. That is a sign of weakness. It's a sign of fear. Wander One Hub? So this digs for cards. That's not good. But if I attack all out, they have to block with Mutavault. Or is it, they have to block our Mutavault. Or they don't have to, I guess. Yeah, they don't have to. Grim Lavamancer can just eat an elemental or something. So all these things will attack our opponent. The Master of Waves will attack Chandra. Oh, no, they did have to block the Mutavault. Oh, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Well, they're deciding to block anyway. That's how it's going to be. Save themselves as much life as possible. Lethal is still on the board. But this does put them in a situation to, like, maybe come back. I mean, I have an island in my hand. So even if they, like, threw the Breach Emrakul, you know, I can come back. Here comes the looting. Okay, so that's good. So, like, even if you play, like, land to play Snapcaster Mage to block Master of Waves, it doesn't matter because I have Lord of Atlantis. So we go to Game 3. Game 3. Rest in peace. It would have been great if we could cast it. Still, does Leyline do anything? Guess not. Just run the deck back. Yes, Harbinger of the Tides interacts with Emrakul, but Merfolk Trickster does the same thing. Yeah, I think 6 sources of mana is a bit sketch for this Rest in Peace. Just a little bit sketch. This hand's fine. It's really mana efficient. We can play things at end of turn with Merfolk Trickster. Purse Catcher is pretty decent in this matchup. Holding back things like Electrolyze. So here's another situation where our opponent might be choked on mana. 2 cards on the bottom. So if they're those shocks, like they don't want a shock. I mean, unless they love the pain. In general, they should not love the pain. I should have countered this. I should have countered that. It was like instinct. They play Serum Visions, I just passed priority. I should have countered that. 1 card on the bottom, 1 card on top. Are they going to pass the turn here? Okay, they don't. I still think I should have countered that. Yeah, Mutavault's nice. Lands are good. So we could play Silvergill Adept. Or we could hold up mana for Merfolk Trickster. And I think the better line is actually going to be holding up the mana for Merfolk Trickster. Silvergill Adept would be best to be cast on turn 4 when I play this Mutavault. Play a Silvergill Adept and hold up Deprive at the same time. Whereas if I play Silvergill Adept right now, there's like no way I can use this Mutavault mana by turn 4. So that is what I'm going to do. So a card that I'll let them have this opt. Maybe that was an opportunity to play Merfolk Trickster at end of turn. Or maybe not. If they played Grim Lavamancer, I would have Merfolk Trickstered it. Alright. Trickster down. Actually, some reason to play Kira here now. Sweeper is not so bad. It's basically just trading with a Kira. If they play Sweltering Suns or Anger the Gods. And they need another mana for it. If they have only these 3 lands, then they're going to have a really hard time getting rid of this Kira, because they need, like, just 2 lightning bolts, because if they play, say, Bolt into Izzet Charm, we counter one of those things with Curse Catcher. Okay, so my read was very correct earlier on, that they are lacking mana. Their hand is like gas, but it's lacking mana. What are you gonna do with that Snapcaster Mage? Okay, I guess we're just gonna let it resolve. Okay. Pass the turn. Play Merfolk Trickster at end of it. Yep. This only goes 1 card deep, so put a card on top, so they probably found a land. Or not, they just found more gas. Oh, I didn't play Merfolk Trickster at end of turn. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. So we'll just keep passing. Is it Staticaster? Is it worth... Well, it's going to shoot like everything every single turn, so... Let's counter that. Really could have that Merfolk Trickster in play right now. That would be really useful. Okay, Anger the Gods for a lonely Kira, not bad. But the hand is still stacked. Their hand is like full of cards, which is the unsettling thing. So what's my dilemma here? They're short of mana to use this Wandering Fumarole. If they kill this, I'm just gonna play like another Silvergill Adept. Okay, they don't kill it, I'm gonna do nothing. Okay. We need one more blue mana to get some serious stuff done. Now, I don't want to play Merfolk Trickster, just in case they're going to, like, combo off. Which, by the way, they might have sided it out, but I don't know. Ooh, Hollow Fountain. Okay, so, oh yeah, that's some good news. Now we can start playing, like, Lord and something else every turn. No, this is too much. This is too much. Can't let Snapcaster Mage get a Electrolyze. So if they play Through the Breach, we have an island in our hand. That's the plus side to all of this. We have an island. Okay, Fumarole can now block very comfortably. Okay, there's Through the Breach. There's an Emrakul. We're about to get hit in the face for 15. They're about to lose their graveyard. We're about to lose our Hollowed Fountain, though. They do have a Desolate... Oh, no, they have the Fumarole in play. Oh, then that was not good. Oh, then we just lose. Wah, wah. Okay, so I missed the Fumarole. So what were we supposed to do? Just let the Snapcaster Mage resolve? I guess so. Well, that's not exactly the ideal thing that we wanted to happen. Okay, we can concede. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. I'm not sure what we were supposed to do differently, but there is definitely some room to do something else. I mean, I definitely wish I wish I countered the second Serum Visions, because I knew they were choked on mana. And if they have, like, expensive cards like Izzet Staticaster and Electrolyze and all this other stuff, then they could have been really far behind. But anyway, we still had a game. We still had a game out of all this. We still had a game. Whatever, so we're going to go on to our last round. Okay, so we won the die roll, and I'm very determined to win this game. We have a great curve out. We rolled a 6. That's the highest we can get. Doesn't get any better than that. Okay, go, Curse Catcher, go. Go get him. Turn 2 Silver Gillidapt, turn 3 Lord. Uh-oh, what is this? Jund? Or maybe Mardu Pyromancer? Whatever you do. Hollow One. Hollow One aggro. Okay, that's good. This is a good matchup. Especially since we've got this Curse Catcher in our hand. Ooh, another Spreading Seas. This is traditionally not a very good card in this matchup, though. Do I want to play it here anyway? Prevents, like, Faithless Lootings. All they need is 1 red mana, is the problem. I think I'm going to forego the Spreading Seas plan, even though I have 2 of them. Trickster's great. Trickster's great in this matchup. Street Wraith goes to the graveyard. Alright, let's roll the dice with Burning Inquiry. So we've exchanged one of the Spreading Seasons, but unfortunately we also exchanged one of the Master of Waves. That's not really what we wanted to do. We did get an Ephara out of it, though. Ooh, I guess we'll keep... Oh! Look how bad that was for our opponents. They lost 2 hollow ones. Hilarious. Guess we're going to counter this with Curse Catcher. We'll keep the power on the board. Nothing else to do with the mana. Hilarious. And we got a backup Master of Waves. Lord of Atlantis, attack for 5. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. This puts some pressure on our opponent. Like, we're attacking for 5, or attacking for 3, then we're going to attack for 5 each turn while we hold up Merfolk Trickster. You're going to get 1 Blood Gas, but it's not very impressive. I guess you could cast a Flameblade Adept. That's annoying. Oh, Goblin Lore, alright. Spin the wheels. What we got in the graveyard now? Flamewake Phoenix, but no mana to bring Flamewake Phoenix back. So we're going to get hit for 4. Still very far away from lethal. An eternity! An eternity, people, an eternity. And their hand is random. But this might be a spot where I'm going to slow down. Or is it? Do I still speed up? No, you know what? I'm going to continue to play Lords. I still don't see a way how we die. Well, I mean, I guess there is a way, but I'm willing to take a big hit. I'm willing to take 1 more big hit here. Well, now we lost the Trickster, which might be a problem. So how many Flamewake Phoenixes? They have 2 Flamewake Phoenixes. So that's going to be 8, 10. Okay, now we're dead. Now we're dead! Why only 1? There's a second one. Isn't there? Oh, that's Flameblade Adept? Okay, we're not dead. Spot's not good, though. Land! For Master of Waves! Oh, damn it! Okay, now what do we do? Flameblade Adept by itself is enough for lethal. Well, I guess we're just going to play Silvergill Adepts. Ah! None of this achieves lethal. So we can slow the game down 1 more turn. But, like, that land came at a really bad time. Okay, it didn't matter. None of this mattered. Alright, concede. Moving on to game 2. So we do have a lot of good cards. Well, one bad thing is we drew, like, I think all of our Spreading Seasons, which is just a complete... It's terrible in this matchup, because they can't block. Flamewake Phoenix can't block. Blood, because it has to attack them normally. Bloodghast can't block. Flameblade Adept generally doesn't want to block. Maybe there was an opportunity 1 turn to Trickster the Flameblade Adept, but it looked like I should just be aggressive to start chipping in damage. I just couldn't curve out very well. So we are going to take out... Hey, something is wrong here. What? Something sticky. Alright, sticky gone. We're going to bring in spot removal and rest in peace for the graveyard. We're going to take out, I actually think Kira's clunky. We'll keep one Ephara. We're definitely going to bring in all the Echoing Truths. Spot removal is good. Take out maybe one Kira. Yeah, I think that's good. We didn't see much out of Leyline of Sanctity. Should we just bring this in here? You can't target us with Collective Brutality, with Oh, you don't have Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, forget it. Too bad! We'll have to try to play Leyline of Sanctity. And that's a go. That was disappointing. We had a really good... I think we had a great hand. Burning Inquiry screwed it up a few times. Sounds fine. It could completely fold to like an Ancient Grudge. But you know what? It's got a bunch of Harbinger of the Tide, so I'm not going to complain. Our opponent has mulliganed to 5 already. I would not say that this deck mulligans that well. Let's see if they're going to have like the 4 hollow 1 start. I'm ready for that start. Oh, ready for Goblin Lore too. This is going to be great. I hope your whole hand depends on that Goblin Lore. Poof! We'll never know what that lore is. Nobody cares. I think it's worth it to get the Silvergill Adept in play so that if we draw a random land, we can start casting other spells, especially Smuggler's Copter. We do not draw a random land, so we shall pass the turn. Okay, there's a Goblin Lore. Puts Street Wraith in the graveyard, so maybe something busted's about to happen. Nothing happens. Attack for 2. No, just attack for 2. If they somehow play Hollow 1, I'll play a Merfolk Trickster in response. Or I'll just play... okay, whatever. We'll let this Burning Inquiry resolve. Did anything change? I think we discarded almost everything that we drew. There are no lands on top of our deck. Just play Lord of Atlantis. It's a creature that does not interact with our opponent. Bolt eats it. Okay, so how did their graveyard change? They have a Bloodghast there now. Their graveyard sucks. Oh, we still have our Smuggler's Copter. I guess this is what we're gonna do. This is how we gotta do it. Merfolk Trickster, your Flameblade Adept. And probably Harbinger it. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not drawing lands, but I mean, like, we're drawing better than our opponent is. As far as I'm concerned. And they're running out of cards just in case they like Goblin Lore or Burning Inquiry. So only Street Wraith can discard at instant speed. So I'm just going to attack into this Flameblade Adept. That Rest in Peace looks great! What a beautiful Rest in Peace! Can I not draw a land, please? Ooh, a defensive Flameblade Adept. Okay. Doesn't discard anything. Okay. We'll let that resolve. Hopefully we lose the Rest in Peace. We don't lose the Rest in Peace, but we do find a Wanderwine Hub. We did, however, lose all our creatures. All of them. Holy moly. Now we have nothing to put in play. We can't even put the Wanderwine Hub in play untapped. We have to reveal a Merfolk. This is the stupidest game of all time. Okay, I'm speechless. Reveal a Merfolk? No, because I oddly enough have none. But we've got to get this thing in play before they find a land to get their one Bloodghast in play. Oh, please don't get your game going. Oh, do you find Gurmag Angler? Oh, you did. So you can get Flameblade, Flamewake Phoenix, get one. Okay, so here comes the pressure. No, and yes. Oh, now we're drawing lands, of course, because we dumped our whole deck into the graveyard. Rest in peace. Okay, so this will help a little bit. Well, I mean, we have Echoing Truth, so we can bounce all this garbage to their hand. Gurmag Angler is going to have a hell of a time getting back on the battlefield. I foresee a lot of lands in our future. So no on this. Yes on this. So let's start with Smuggler's Copter. This is one way to deal with Flamewake Phoenix. There's another Flamewake Phoenix. But I think we're in control of this game. We'll bounce this, and we can bounce the Phoenixes next turn. And we have a bunch of Mutavaults that can attack now. Or I guess not. Okay, so we'll activate a Mutavault. So we can activate Smuggler's Copter. So that we can loot. Alright, we'll keep that Silvergill Adept. Alright, pass. I think the only thing that can kill us is like a bolt, land, bolt, Collective Brutality. That is not going to do it. I do actually have to bounce these just in case my opponent is sandbagging a land and bolt. Okay, go on to game 3. This is a good matchup. This is a good matchup. I win a lot more than I lose against Hollow One. Guess that's it. That's all we change. Rest looks good. Rest in Peace did some work there. Oh yeah. It was very late to the party, but still helped. I see 6 lands. I think we should mulligan this. But who knows, maybe they'll have Burning Inquiry. This hand's not very impressive, but we'll keep it anyway. Put this on the bottom. So I guess just in case they play Burning Inquiry, we should get this Wanderwine Hub out. Unless they play it right now. Alright. So we got like a net, I think we like net lost here. One Hollow One, not so bad. They discarded a Goblin Lore, which is actually pretty good for us. I guess I'll reveal nothing. Nothing to do with this hand. Goblin Lore? Oh, Gurmag Angler. Alright, the pressure's on. So Curse Catcher's not bad. It's something I can do on turn 3. So which means I should play... I don't know what I'm going to play. Either... Oh no, I have to play Merfolk Trickster. I have to play Merfolk Trickster. That's the only way I can play Echoing Truth and Curse Catcher at the same time. And I guess this just saves the most life. Hitting Gurmag Angler. And I think the things between Hollow One or Gurmag Angler, I might want to bounce the Hollow One because it's really easy to fill your graveyard again. But Hollow One, like, it's random whether you have... Well, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what's the best one to take down. Let's attack for 2. Play our lovely Curse Catcher, and pass the turn. I guess we'll just bounce the thing that deals the most damage. Gotta be careful, they might have a lot of removal. Attack for 5, chump block with Silvergill Adept. Attack for the win. Alright, that's fine. I'll take a line that potentially wins. Curse Catcher can't really counter a Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt or anything like that. Bolt goes to the graveyard. We are entering a game where Spreading Seas would be pretty relevant, and we don't have it in our deck. Because Gurmag Angler is a problem. Are we threatening to win next turn? We are. So, ooh, okay, so they're being aggressive. I'm just going to take 4 and then reevaluate. If I'm at 4, if that's risky, then whatever. I die. Because like I don't think I can play around 2 bolts. If they have 2 bolts, then like chump blocking is not really going to get me anywhere. I'm just going to die of the bolts eventually. All right, so we lost. That's too bad. Like we had a really good start here. We had a really good start and like fizzled into nothing. Well, let's go back at the deck. Let's look at Rhino's deck. So first off, I wish we had a few mana sources more for this Rest in Peace. It's unfortunate we didn't see like the usefulness out of Kataki's War's Wage and Leyline of Sanctity. I would have loved to bring this in against something. Like it's a bit iffy, I think, to bring this in against Hollow One because they have very few things that can target us. Collective Brutality when they want to like drain us. Lightning Bolt, just not enough things. And, you know, the Blue Moon deck, or the Breach Moon deck, didn't care. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, Leyline of Sanctity, we did not see the power of Leyline of Sanctity. Were we ever punished for Wanderwine Hub? I don't think so. I don't know, we'd have to look back on the tape. So we beat Tron. What else did we beat? We lost to Merfolk. This... I can't tell. We're probably not in great shape against Merfolk because these 8 cards are really clunky, and our particular opponent was playing with Mara Rejury, so they had more lords than we did. But you know, Ephara did well. It did look good in a lot of the matchups that we played against. Like it looked good against Jund. It looked good against the Breach Moon deck. If only we could get it in play. Aside from that, no, I don't know. I don't have any complaints about this. You know, Smuggler's Copter was pretty good, except that, you know, it wasn't really a new addition to this deck. I really wish we got to see more out of these cards. Rest in Peace did help us a lot. Like, it helped us win that game against Hollow One aggro, without a doubt. Like, exiling the other, like, Flamewake Phoenixes and the Bloodghasts. Oh, that was a huge boost. Otherwise, I don't know where we went wrong against that Hollow One deck. Maybe you can tell me in the comment section below what went wrong, because like that is a pretty darn good matchup. Unless somehow this configuration... Well, we don't have Dismember in this deck. We don't have actually any 1-mana spot removal. So that does definitely hurt us in both the Merfolk matchup and the... What's it called? The Hollow One matchup. I just realized that we're only playing with 8 1-drops. That makes our deck actually quite clunky. So maybe there's some room to bring in some Vapor Snags. Or maybe Path to Exile, but the deck would have to be built around it. I'll save that for the future. I have an idea for an Azorius Merfolk deck. So maybe that is the missing link here. We need something to do. We need more things to do on turn 1, either in the form of Dismember or Vapor Snake or Spell Pierce, because we didn't have enough things to do early on. And there were a few games, like for example against the Blue Moon deck, we were in situations where we have 3 mana, but we can only play 1 thing a turn. So that might be the only adjustment going forward. We need more things to do with 1 mana. At least like 2 more, because we only had 8 1-drops. And you know what? That's not really going to cut it, because we have less things to do. On turn 3 you can play Kira, but in general on turn 3 all we're going to do is play 1 2-drop. But you know what? The deck was cool. I loved getting Ephara out there. That was awesome. If you love this deck, you let me know, because this is going to be like the month of Azorius. So anyway, we're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. We're also going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. This has been Nikachu playing Rhino Rousseau's Azorius Merfolk in Modern.